Okay, so there's three ways that we handle doing mortgage protection. The first way is we can look at covering the full amount of the mortgage. I thought I would do this all the time when I first started doing this, but I really only do this about 5 or 4% of the time, and there's two reasons for that. The first one is it's going to be on the higher priced way to go, and number two is a lot of times this isn't the solution for the client's problems, so if there's a more economical way, I'll definitely suggest that first. The last time I did the full mortgage protection was I was dealing with a lady who she was the breadwinner and her husband was on disability, and he basically had enough money to like buy groceries if something happened to her, but nothing else really to pay for the home. So what we did is we did the full mortgage for her, and then added a little bit more in for life insurance, because if something happened to her, he couldn't move because the whole house was like wheelchair accessible, that sort of thing. So the second one is doing part of the home. A lot of times I'll do this if there's two folks. I'll put half of the home on one person, half on the other. God forbid something happens to one of them and you eliminate one income, then it would be more affordable for that other person. Or perhaps there's a child that would be taking the home over, and maybe that would make the mortgage a little bit more affordable for them if they could refinance and get it down to about half of what it is now. The third way to do it is what is called equity protection, or critical period. And there's two ways to explain this bottom one. The first one is, the bank's not generally going to call the homeowner and say, I'm sorry about the loss of your wife, but you guys owe like $200,000 on your home, so you have about a month to pay that or you have to move, right? So they don't do that, thank goodness. And on the other side of the coin, the bank doesn't just generally call you up and say, hey, I'm sorry about the loss of your husband. Why don't you take the next year or 2 or 3 off of paying your mortgage, do they? But it'd be great if they did, right? So basically that's what this policy is designed to do, is to cover the mortgage for a set amount of time. So, if you do any sort of grieving class, they'll say don't make any purchases or any decisions for at least a year. So sometimes I'll do just a year of payments. Basically, this is equivalent to the bank calling you up and saying don't worry about your mortgage for a year. Sometimes clients just want to sell their home, so we might bundle in another year to do that. And then sometimes they're not quite sure, so we might just do 3 years. So that's basically how it works. So just based on this, obviously I want to find you the best deal possible, but just based on this, I want to try to also put you where I think is the best fit. Was there a budget that you were trying to stick within per month, and that'll kind of help me place you on here? So now's the time that I would call 911 if I had any questions about any new medications or anything. And then when I come back, I will do the decide tonight rebuttal by saying, guys, I'm going to start by showing you the most comprehensive coverage. And I'm not going to show you that because I want you to spend more than you should. I'm doing that because I also don't want to assume that you don't want the best coverage for your family. Sometimes I'll be working with clients and I feel like they're beating around the bush. They might say something like, I need to think about it or sleep on it and pray on it. And typically what that means is the price that I'm showing them is just too much. So, if what I'm showing you is more than you want to spend, just tell me. This isn't the only way. It's just basically my recommendation based on what you're telling me. But from what you told me, I'm going to get a little creative here. There's going to be a part A to what we're going to talk about, then a second part of it as well. So part A would be, you mentioned that you just sell the home anyways, both of you, if something happened. So what I would recommend is, I'm going to start with you, the wife. If we did the mortgage for 1 year, this right here would be a policy that goes until you're 110 years old. One part of it has a death benefit over here, and the another one is a cash bucket that's going to build up cash value you can actually borrow against as the policy grows. It's going to build equity just like a home. And at any point between now and when you're 110, if you were to pass away, your husband would get at least a year or whatever the case may be of mortgage payments. For this one here, it's $100 a month for this part of the policy. And this would pay out if it was an accident death, natural causes, anything. Now, I want to show you one other thing that is pretty neat. what we can go ahead and do is bundle in the rest of the mortgage on an accidental death policy. So it would be that we're going to call as B. So if you died by accident, then the whole home would be paid off. Okay? So at natural causes, your wife would get one, or husband would get 1 year of mortgage payments. Accidental death, the whole entire mortgage is paid off. And for those two together, it would be $110 a month. So did you like the one that just includes the 1 year mortgage protection, or did you want to add any other one that is $110, would be $110 for the month? And this one here goes till you're age 80. And then after that, they don't cover accidental deaths after that age, and it would just be this price down here. Okay. So again, I don't want you getting too attached to any of these prices, because as I said, you know, it's not a definite. So let's pick the one that you like, that I think we have the best shot at getting approved at, because at the end of the day, if you want it and the carrier says no, it doesn't matter, you know, if you wanted it, right?